Good morning, this is John, host of Mgtow is Freedom. I want to talk to you guys about opening the door after I put my truck in park. Opening the door, right? Getting the door for a woman, holding the door for a woman. Where did that come from? Where did it come from? Well, it came from the concept, an ancient concept of shut the fuck up. Okay, when men, not women, when men built houses of logs and stone, they had to have a way to get in and out, and that was the door. Windows were very, very small, were probably just slits or gaps between rocks because they wanted to keep the elements out. They did not have glass, so they had to keep the elements out. And the door was the biggest opening. At this crude time in man's history, doors were very heavy items. If they had hinges, they were lucky. It was probably just something very large set in front of the door originally, and then or the doorway. Then it became a door, as in huge wooden planks on hinges. And so why did it have to be that heavy and that big? Why? This has everything to do with Mgtow, by the way, and going your own way and telling these fucking women to get fucked. These feminist cunts. And yeah, I woke up in one of those moods. What happened was they had to keep the elements out, and the wind can blow a light object away, right? So they built doors very heavy. They also had enemies that wanted to get what was theirs, their castle, their domicile. So the door had to be an instrument of defense and protection. It could not easily be opened. Do you think women could open those doors? No, they could not. Even when they had hinges, I am certain that even if they were greased with bear fat, those doors did not budge. They probably dragged along the ground, were required to be picked up. You know, you have to pick up a door sometimes because it's stuck. That takes manpower, not woman power. It takes manpower. It takes brute force. And put your fucking elbow into it. Put your shoulder into it and budge the door. Women couldn't get the door for themselves. And they wanted in. They didn't like being outside. So women had to behave, didn't they? And they would sit outside that door and probably cry, screech, whine, piss, and moan. Someone get the door for me! I'm sure that was a great way to punish women who weren't behaving well, not getting the door for them, letting them sit out in the cold. Now, am I advocating cruelty to women? No, I'm not. Am I advocating respect? Yes, I am. As we move forward in history, door hardware improved, did it not? The quality of craftsmanship with doors improved. For the wealthy. So up until the last 100 years, doors were always a pain in the ass. In a lot of cases, I'm sure they were a big giant set of boards nailed together, nailed to a leather strap nailed to the wall. So the entire door had to be picked up and heaved into position. Women couldn't do that. So we get to the 20th century with hinges. Real working hinges, right? Good ones. Not just on public buildings, but on people's private homes. And maybe this was back in the 1700s. The year really doesn't fucking matter. What matters is men's behavior and women's expectations. Doors were still very heavy because they did act as an insulator. They did have to keep the elements outside. They did have to hold up. Because 100 years ago and back, I know they did not build things with Harley Earl's concept of planned obsolescence. A door had to fucking last. It had to last a long time. So they were very heavy. Very heavy. As a result, women couldn't get doors in a lot of cases, especially on their homes, everywhere else. So it became customary for men to get the door for women because women weren't strong enough to do it. It became customary for men to get the door because they got tired of listening to the bullshit, right? And then it became expected of them as an act of chivalry and being a gentleman. I was 3 the first time I got a door for a woman. 3 fucking years old. And the lady was very nice, and she said, "Oh, what a good little gentleman you are." And I felt really good. Yeah, I got the door for a woman. That stayed with me my whole life. Until the first time I got a door for a woman, and she fucking scowled at me. "I don't need your help." Well, of course you don't need my help now. You go to the store now, and what do you get? Doors are electric. Doors are on slides. They open, even rotating, revolving doors, which are designed to be balanced and spin easily, not for the benefit of men. We don't fucking need that. It's for women. Automatic doors, swinging doors that open automatically, are for women. Women, so that they don't need a man. I fucking hear it every day. I don't need a man. But I tell you what, to this day, I still know there are heavy doors in this world where the automatic closer, so the woman doesn't even have to close the fucking door. She just has to push it open and it'll close itself for her. Right? They'll hit a door that doesn't move and they'll start struggling with it and pushing it and making those girl faces, right, when they have to really push. And then they'll squeeze in and slip on by. Because they aren't heavy enough, they're not strong enough, but the door still needs to keep the elements out. There are those doors. And that's where the history of getting the door came from. Because men got tired of listening to women squeal, right? They wouldn't be patient and wait their turn. And eventually they would get the door for them and let them in. Getting the door. Something as simple as maintaining our fucking defenses resulted in the expectation that we serve them in a physical capacity, i.e., your utility for the woman. Provide her a house that's defensible and then get the door for her. Now, was there a fair exchange? Of course there was. You owned the woman, she performed for you, you provided service for her. Fair exchange. Today, there's no sense of fair exchange for men. Because of our ingenuity, our craftsmanship, our hard work, and our willingness to pay for a fucking door that opens automatically, they don't need a man. Get where I'm going with this? A fucking door costs $200. An automatic door costs $2,000 to $10,000. Who do you think is paying for that? You are, men. On businesses, it's because your women out there are taking your money and buying their overpriced products for no fucking reason and going into extra debt with your credit card, which in turn finances that business so they can afford an automatic door so your bitch can go to the door and have it open as if she's a fucking goddess. And she willed it open with her presence. Get the door. That's what we're looking at here. Getting the door for them. One of the very first acts that men did for women. They built the house, they built the door, and then they started getting it for them. And so how do you feel, men, when there's a woman close to you and you're going through a door? What do? Do you get the door for them? Do you look at them to see what the expression on their face is? You can't fucking win. And I'm going to do a video on catch-22s, trust me. I've looked at a woman who gave me a dirty look. I just stepped inside the fucking door and let it shut. And I looked back, and she was disgusted. Oh my God, he didn't get the door for me. And it was on a hardware store, and I knew this particular door was fucking heavy too. And I watched her struggle to get it in, right? To get in it. I don't mind a heavy door. To me, as a man, it's a workout. One repetition, I'm in, right? I got some fucking exercise. To them, it's a struggle because they're just weak, puny little beings with vaginas. So I've let them get their own door and they get mad at you, and then you get the door for them and they get mad at you. You can't fucking win. You can't win. So what do? You do what pleases you. If you feel like being a gentleman, be a gentleman. That's my suggestion. If you feel like being a brute and letting them feel their pain, let them. But we keep doing it. We keep making things easier for ourselves as men. These automatic doors, oh fuck, we benefit by them. Always makes me laugh when a door opens for me. Cracks me the fuck up. But I know who it benefits the most. It benefits women the most, and we pay for it with our dollars. We pay for it with our effort. For no thanks. No thanks. If you're one of the men out there that makes this world a better place, do women thank you? Fuck no. They got the hardest job on the planet. They're moms. They gotta cook macaroni and cheese. They gotta bend over and lift up really heavy DVDs and put it in the DVD player. They've got to work with really difficult, people, their kids, little 2 and 3-year-old, and have to tell them to go take a nap, finish their apple slices. They've got a rough life. No, that's easy. That is not the hardest job in the world. All right. We'll leave it be at that. I've got a lot more coming, you guys. I want to thank you for watching, for clicking like, subscribe, clicking sponsors, just for having a good time here. Mgtow, get the door. Why? We're doing it all for them. So this is John, host of Mgtow is Freedom. I have the penis. I go through the day, every day, saying that to myself whenever I run into one of these fucking feminist hags. I have the penis. All right, you guys have a great day.